Hi, Rochelle here, and welcome to Solution Focused Parenting Group. A lot of you may not know me. I see a lot of new members in here recently, and I wanted to take a minute and post a video about who I am, sort of my background, and how I got started in my Solution Focused Parenting journey, and how I sort of created the model. So I was in the military out of high school, and after that, it was really a goal for me to receive my bachelor's degree. Returned home to Aberdeen, Washington, and I started going to classes and took a distance degree program for my undergraduate in social science. And while I was doing that, I started volunteering as a court-appointed special advocate, or CASA, as they're known. And what they do is they're the voices for children who are in foster care, been taken out of their homes for whatever reason. And as a CASA, we would go into the courts and we would speak on the behalf of the children. So we were interviewing families, interviewing schools, interviewing all the resources, and being the voice for the children in the courts. And even back then, and this was years ago, I'm talking 2002, I was thinking, oh my goodness, I wish there was something I could do for these kids before they got here. And the only thing I thought was, how could I help create better parents so they didn't end up in these difficult situations? And so that's always been sort of on the back of my mind, is how can I get to the parents before any sort of invalidating behavioral stuff happens with the kids? And then fast forward a little bit further, and I received my bachelor's degree. I started working at the juvenile institution system in Washington State as a counselor, and so I was working in the intensive management unit in one of the youth facilities there, and we started, working with the kids, but they wanted counselors sort of on the floor with the kids so we could work with them sort of in their daily living and coach them in the moment around our treatment model, which is dialectical behavior therapy, or DBT, as you might hear it called a lot. And I thought, this is really a great program. And I had, anger issues and, trauma in my past and things like that. And so in order to really do DBT effectively, you have to apply that to yourself. And so I'm teaching the skills, I'm counseling individually in this model, and I'm applying them to myself so that way I can take what I'm learning and bring it to these kids that I'm teaching. Well, I picked up on the model really well. It was really effective for me. So I ended up being a treatment coordinator for the state and working with tons of families, helping them sort of navigate this new language around this therapy with their kids. And still, my primary clients were the kids. I'm still working with, 14 to 21-year-olds and who have extreme behavioral challenges. I'm talking anywhere from robbery to murder. So the whole gamut, as you would say, of behaviors. I was working with these kids. And again, it was sort of in the back of my mind thinking, man, if I could just work with the parents, what is going on that we could help get the parents communicating better with their kids, because the parents I would work with were interested. They wanted a better relationship. The kids wanted a better relationship. There was just this misfire. So I ended up getting my master's degree at the University of Washington in social work, and I decided to go into private practice. And during that time, I was teaching DBT groups and working with parents and working with kids. There was just a lot of times that some of the strategies that I was using with the kids, I kept thinking, oh, the parents are at home inadvertently, because they don't know, they're not in sessions, they don't know what we're working on unless they, except like the 5-minute check-ins here we're doing there and some stuff I would send home. But I don't know how often they were actually reading it or applying it or practicing it or really understanding it. And so I was really frustrated thinking, I really want to work with the parents, because if the parents understood this, then it would be so much easier for the kids to go home to this validating therapeutic home environment. And it's amazing how many things parents do or say with the best of intentions that really just pushes their kids away. And so I created an online group, a 12-week DBT group, and I found that parents, when they would want to sign their kids up, I would encourage them to go through it with their kids. So do this, and that way you have the same language and you know what they're doing. You can kind of know what to expect or see what they're supposed to be practicing. And so the parents would, and the feedback was amazing. All the parents were saying, even when they're not doing it, when their kid's not doing it and they're not applying the skills, when they're applying the skills and they're doing things, they're seeing this huge difference. And so I started really honing in on what was working well for them. And along with DBT and solution-focused brief therapy and positive psychology, I created this program called Solution-Focused Parenting. And that's sort of this catalyst that I've been working with parents, and the relationships at home have just been so much better. The parents aren't feeling as guilty and feeling like a failure. They're understanding their own emotions, and so they're able to respond better in the moment. They're able to stop bringing up things from the past over and over, and they're able to look at the objective in the moment. They're able to get their kids to recognize that they're really trying and that they do care, and they're learning new ways to communicate that makes their kids want to communicate back with them and open up with them. And so the battles are decreasing at home and relationships are starting to form. And a lot of parents, you want to hold on too tight, or you just go, okay, whatever, fine, do what you want, and you let go way too easily, and then there's this freedom, and then there's trouble, or the parents or the child is rebelling against you because you're holding on too strict and they just need to get away. So teaching this dialectical approach of sort of this middle path has been so wonderful for parents. And so that's what kind of got me involved and got me focusing with parents. And I'm so excited because after all those years of really thinking, how can I get to these parents? And it's funny because it started I was so much younger, and I was starting in the foster care system and thinking, some of the kids were really abused and in horrible situations. And now I'm working with parents who are not abusive. They're good parents. They want the best for their kids, and they're feeling hopeless and struggling, and they're going to regular counseling, and they're doing all the things they're supposed to. They're putting their kid in counseling, and they're doing all the things that they're told they're supposed to do, and things still aren't helping. They're not seeing the changes they want to. And I really started looking at, when you're focusing on this problem and you're taking your kid to therapy and you're saying, here, and the therapist is saying, tell me about the problem, and the kid's telling the problem, and you're going home and you're watching every time the problem happens so you can go back to therapy. Well, this problem keeps magnifying and getting bigger and bigger. And so I don't want to focus on the problems. I want to focus on what's working, what's going well, and what are the solutions. And so that's where I came up with the solution focused. And there's already solution focused therapy out there. So I knew what model I wanted to jump from and pull all these great strategies that they're doing. And I know dialectical behavior therapy so well, so I wanted to pull from that. And then positive psychology, because I don't want us to get stuck in the negative. I don't want those patterns of misery and commiseration to continue in your house. Battles are happening, and you keep showing up to these battles, and I want you to stop showing up to the battles because they're going to happen whether you show up or not. And I want you to sort of look at new things and new behaviors and new ways of responding and watch as the battle just stops around you. And so that's the exciting part. That's what I really want to bring into this solution-focused parenting group. That's why I've created my new workbook, which has taken a really long time, so I haven't been as active in the group as I wanted to. So the members that's been there from the beginning and holding on, thank you so much. It's time, everything's there, and so I really want to bring some really good value to you, and you're going to see that over the next couple weeks of me bringing forth a lot of this new stuff because it's really exciting. And so thank you for being here. If you have any questions, or if you have, and maybe you're not comfortable asking the questions in an open forum, that's fine. Private message me, send me an email, Rochelle@yourvirtualskillstrainer.com, and I would be happy to, write a blog, do a video answer for you, or just email you back privately. But just rest assured that whatever question you're having, somebody else is having that too. There's a lot of similarities in a lot of the things that we're dealing with when you work with kids at the same age. And so thank you for being here, and I look forward to working with you and getting to know you all better.